February 17, 1914. Arthur Curry is my uncle, who is a well-educated man. He was born in Nipperton, Ontario, Canada, December 5, 1875, according to my brother Andrew. He had lived with strict regulations at home, but he enjoyed lots of time in school. My uncle loved school, and he spoke well in school that would persuade people to his ideas. Uncle Curry was a real estate and insurance broker before the war began. With such high education, my uncle had no experience in fighting. 1914, when he was fighting in the British Army, because Canada is a colony of Great Britain. The Britain military did not train many of the soldiers. They believed that young 20-strong fit men did the job correctly. My uncle Curry had been promoted to 2nd Division rank after the first gas attack the Germans had done during 1914 to 1915. Later my uncle was promoted to 1st Division during 1916 to 1917. Sir Julian Byng, a British commander, had promoted my uncle as the commander of his team 1917 and in charge of the props for the army. My uncle was the first Canadian to march through all ranks. My uncle's first mission was to run Vimy Ridge, which both France and Britain failed to capture themselves. My uncle had trained all his soldiers with many scenarios that were realistic. This helped the Canadian troops by giving confidence in what they would do during the battle, like how to respond to chlorine gas or a grenade. My uncle had a theory in mind, making sure that his team fought together in the battle. This way the team could help one another during the battle. With my uncle's successful training, he had led his team and nation proud, because both France and Britain were not able to capture the land themselves, but Canada was able to. 1920, my uncle retired and earned a job as a principal at McGill University in Montreal. After nearly 13 years of being a principal at McGill's University, my uncle sadly passed away when I was 19 years old. June 6, 1920, I was exactly 6 years old. Me and my father both loved to enjoy time together walking through the city. The urban area was developing really quickly with lots of buildings and roads. Today we saw some cars pass by the city by Robert Edward, our rich neighbor. Me and my dad did not care much about cars driving by, and we left. Also, manufacturers had learned new ways to improve ways to make the car much strong compared to the first car they sold. Few days later we see more of these cars drive in the city, and there were billboards advertising people to buy cars from them. Me and my dad are now getting interested in buying this car because it would help my dad with his business, carrying items to his shop, etc. The car was best fit for a family vacation, my dad, my mom, my brother and me. We could regularly go to the nearby beach or the carnival. The car was a great invention, because it now can transport us much more efficiently and faster than a horse. Usually I would see some horse and a wagon pass by me, but majority of the time today I saw cars pass by. It is my friend Jonathan Green's 16th birthday. I am also on my first date with Hannah Brown, a school friend. The party is at a local bar store. As Hannah and I danced to a slow dance, a group of girls related to Jonathan started dancing something cool. The Flappers is the name of the girl's name. They had danced to the Charleston Dance. The dance was fast-paced dance that made so many people become interested in their dance. I was also one of those people who were interested into this new dance. The party was an enjoyable time. I had learned how to do the Charleston, and it seems to be that Hannah and I broke up. September 1st, 1939. During World War I, women were not allowed to fight in the war, but were allowed to serve as nurses. The nurses were needed a lot in the war, to help recover the wounded ones. My mother was a nurse during that period of time. I am currently being trained in the Canadian Pilot Academy. Another war has begun, but there are not much healthy men serving in the war due to the fear of dying. But some women still feel that women should fight in the war. Now women are officially allowed to fight in the war with a full Canadian uniform. joined the war were not treated fairly. My cousin, she had joined the Canadian military but she wasn't allowed to fight like the men did. Women were used as backups during the fight. Women joining the war was a positive impact to women because men worldwide recognized that women were equal as men. WRCAF was one of the women rights that took place in Canada. It is the year of 1946. I am currently 42. I had retired from the military. Aircrafts have been developed across the world. People enjoy traveling on planes around the world. North Pole is part of Canada, but Canada did not use North Pole much. Russian wanted the North Pole, but Canada had refused it. Recently America and Russia had few fights regarding about Europe being controlled by a communist government. US and Russia built a lot of high weapons from atomic bomb to hydrogen bomb. Anyways, the Canadians had spotted Russian planes in the North Pole. This raised an eyebrow to the Americans because they were scared of the Russians dropping an atomic bomb. And Canada was also scared because the Russian had been flying around the North Pole. But Canada was not as concerned like the US because Canada was not in a fight with Russia. Since US was scared, they built a radar system in the North Pole, which would let the Americans prepare ahead if any Russian planes were to attack. US was rude that they relocated the Aboriginals from their home. US had high radar systems that kept track of all entrance and exits of the tracking system. Lots of Aboriginals had lost contact with other family members. Not only that, but the Aboriginals only had limited amount of baggage to carry to their new location. Luckily, the Russians did not plan to attack the Americans. The radar system that was used in the North Pole and relocating the Aborigines was a waste. It was a journey that I cannot forget. This is the end of my diary.